Hello everybody, it's Mike here again, bringing you Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, via the PlayStation 4 on the Nathan Drake collection. This is part 8. Last time I left off, I told you we're on our way to plot. And, well, I did it. Yeah, this is a redo because I lost more audio. I'll tell you about it later because I want to point out I found a piece of treasure here. And I lost the footage. I can't show you guys. It's so funny. Every time I have to redo footage, that's when I find treasure. I gotta stop finding treasure because then I have to redo stuff, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, this time instead of like my commentary, I actually lost the audio from the game itself. So that wasn't fun. Okay, so this looks interesting, right?
These aren't Spanish. They're English.
And if it's English, who do we know who's English? A certain pirate?
Whoa. Fletcher, we have gone to the Great Tower. I pray that you will...
I like how he underlined Great Tower. It's like you're taking notes and you're like, this is important.
But what were you plotting?
Hey, I hear a noise. I wonder why that guy was like, alright, I'm gonna let him come over here and beat me up. It's like the Batman villains. Alright, we got guns, but instead of shooting him, we'll let him beat us up one at a time.
That must be Drake's Tower.
Looks like a medieval castle from like Europe or something. I mean, I don't claim to know much about the history of architecture. It doesn't strike me as, 1600s colonial era. Yeah, you know what? To be fair, I mean, this is even like in the Caribbean. This is like Indian Ocean, actually. I think. There we go. I'll hold on to that. This is a nice gun. The Great Tower. Always love it when stuff like that happens. Hey, we'll fight them again. Fight them as many times as necessary. Oh, I kept trying to throw a grenade. I'm like, why isn't it going? I'm out of grenades. Alright, yeah, so last time I was here, because I was here, I realized that if they do technically mark the structures that you could easily climb, those are actually your white things. And I'm thinking, I wouldn't like instinctively think, I could climb this. It's not, now that I have it pointed out to myself, I know, but it just looks like part of the level design, doesn't it? Maybe this game was like more cartoony. They could pick a more like bold color, but I mean, it's not that bad. I've beaten this game before, at least 2 playthroughs without ever realizing that, and I got through basically fine. I just would die every now and then. The game's generous on checkpoints, though, so it works out. Everything's crumbling on Nate. Eventually, he's just gonna run out of stuff to climb. He'll crumble, and there's nothing else to jump to. Alright, I believe this is the Great Tower they told us to go to.
This must have been Drake's.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? You ever see Jurassic Park? The thing the old man carries with the amber, with the mosquito in it that has the dragon DNA? Obviously, this is a telescope and not a staff, but still.
That looks familiar.
So that should be the thing that we saw on our coin, the coin design.
Elena.
Okay, so if the ships never left, that would explain how this is a hidden colony, because then nobody would come back to tell about it. I guess we saved Elena, maybe? Alright, so notice we're in like a jail cell right now. Something I noticed, because I had to go back and redo this, is we actually passed by this jail cell earlier. If you remember in the last part when we were in that narrow hallway, I was like, if I was a treasure, I would be hidden here. This is where this cutscene takes place. In the courtyard she's in is, I believe that's where our big battle was. So that's a nice little detail. I didn't know that this game had. Or this might be... No, I think it is where the battle is. Either that or where we had to crumble some pillars to climb. Alright, but it looks like we got company.
Oh, crap.
This is one of the more interesting characters in Uncharted. In my opinion, I never hear anybody talk about him, but I like him. Eddie Raja.
Don't flatter yourself, Eddie.
Always ready to be enemies, eh?
You know, we never really learn exactly where and how Nate and Eddie first met each other. It's just one of those things that it's alluded to. You know what?
And die later.
Saying it aloud, not everything needs an explanation. It's this is gonna be controversial, but the new Star Wars movies like Solo and what was that one about like the Death Star plans? Rogue One. Not everything needed to be explained. Nobody needed to know what the Kessel Run actually was. That's my opinion.
You help me find the treasure, and the last man alive gets the gold. And the girl, of course.
It's the last man alive. It's like, that's clearly stacked in Eddie's favor, you know. He'll use Nate to get the treasure, and then because he never gave Nate a gun, he'll just shoot Nate.
Very good at poker. I will find her. Trust me. How much trouble could
That's like a
one
series
girl
staple, I think. Thinking about it now, Nate can't really lie very well. Look at this, though. Hold on, watch.
Well, come on.
Boom!
Damn it!
Nice work.
Thanks.
Hey, Buka Pintu!
Buka Pintu. That, Nate said that earlier when he was giving the instructions to open the door. I don't know what that means, honestly. Maybe hurry up. But no, look, this is where we were. We fought here. Luckily, they opened up the gate for us. Actually, you know, think about it now. Where did Elena get the vehicle? Did they leave the keys in the ignition? So this this is a nice little segment because it breaks up the monotony of like just running and climbing and shooting, which is like, well, it's like, well, Mike, if you like Uncharted so much, why are you complaining about jumping, climbing, and shooting? You know, Uncharted 1 was the first game in the series. It gets refined later. You know, it's a nice change of pace. Wow, that dude flew right off. This segment also reminds me of a few other games. A lot, actually. Start with the first one that came to mind. You guys ever play the GameCube or PlayStation 2 version of The Incredibles? I just bring that up because segments where you run as Dash in the jungle just remind me of this. You know what else reminds me of this? The very first Call of Duty, the one that you could basically only get on PC and like an altered version on the PlayStation 3 digital store. There's a British campaign mission where you're like trying to flee Germany, and you don't have a machine gun, but what you do have is like like a Panzer flask. Well, trying to remember what the like grenade launchers are called because you use the German ones. Yeah, you just rocket propel grenade. The German convoy is after you, and it's actually pretty hard. I'm not a fan of that mission. Come on. Oh, I missed. Don't. Well, okay, that was Elena's dead body. I missed again. Alright, Elena's kind of fun to watch die. Not because I hate Elena. I actually very much like Elena as a character. It's just I'm not used to seeing her die. It's like I see Nate die all the time, and I'm used to it. Did you hear Nate just shouting? He thinks this is fun. Who said I got? Alright, alright, so you know what that means? It was a dude waiting on the side of the road. They had people just waiting. This is such a bad use of the resources. No wonder why we're able to kill so many of them. They're so disorganized. But what is this place? It's like a cave, but it's got like bridge arcs in it? Maybe they're not like bridge arcs, but maybe it supports the cave. Maybe the cave was important to the colony. Oh, I should mention, you can use both the machine gun and rocket launcher at the same time. I don't know why I wasn't, honestly. That dude just crashed. Oh, I felt that. Look at that little town down there. That's beautiful.
Okay.
That would be what I would say as I drove off a cliff.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, but you're bleeding.
Yeah, it goes with the
I
territory.
don't see where Nate's bleeding,
Get the hell
honestly.
outta
This is the second time I've seen this cutscene today. I don't see it.
Damn it.
Get out and push. Alright, where did these guys come from? Like, alright, there is no way that big truck made the gap. You know.
From what?
Oh no, just giving the young lady the $10 tour.
Shut it! I bet you're working for them too.
What?
You thought
I'm
you
trying
could
to
set
decipher
me
what
up
Eddie
and keep
means here.
everything
You're
for
working for them
yourself?
too. Like, does he mean for Roman as like Roman hired a second guy without telling him?
Eddie, take it easy, buddy.
Well, you're out of
I don't know.
luck now.
Maybe it'll come up later. I'm not positive, honestly.
Give me that map.
Hold on. All right.
Thinking about it,
You got me, fair and square.
Hey,
I don't know even know. Dude, I don't think we use the map.
Relax, Eddie. Just getting the map like
The
you
map
asked.
so far has only shown us the keys and the tower, which isn't really a map. It's
Well,
a
now,
picture.
You told me not to move.
You know.
Looks like you're gonna have to come get it.
hey, come
Crashes straight into the rocks, honestly.
Go, go!
Oh, Elena's camera got wet. I just realized. She tries so hard to protect it. Must be waterproof.
Oh, for God's sake!
Come on, look up, Nate. Too bad we can't kill Eddie right now. Figures he'd be the only one to back away. Elena, get out of the way. Alright. I used half my ammo on those 3 dudes. Okay, we died really fast there. I wasn't expecting that. Should I even bother with these guys? Now let's just flee. Come with me, Elena. Guys, is she still shooting these guys? Okay, no, I guess they left. Oh, did you see that? Those guys just literally faded in. The game usually masks that pretty well. I want that shotgun. Brutal slugger. Take the AK-47 just because we get double the ammo from that brutal takedown. Oh, right, there's a little thing here. More plot. Let's see what they got in store for us this time.
No kidding. You know, I should have turned before the bridge.
That's very funny.
Oh, come here a minute. I want to show you something.
That thing still works?
Uh-huh. Check this out. Okay.
Oh, so they kind of acknowledge that it still works.
That's where all the boats coming in
The thing about the camera going in the water.
So if the El Dorado treasure came to this island, it would have had to have come through here.
Very clever.
What was that?
What?
Rewind it.
Yeah?
Wait, stop.
Uh-huh.
Right there.
This game is so 2007 with the camera. Wow, I
Here.
just...
Are you giving up?
Wow, this game's 12 years
Kind
old.
of outnumbered.
We're doing fine so far. Oh, Lord.
Elena, I don't need your bullet-riddled corpse on my conscience. Let's go.
Oh, please. You quit if you want to, but don't use me as an excuse.
Imagine, so back in the day of the early PlayStation 3, a lot of PlayStation 3 games would get ports that were watered down and placed onto the PlayStation 2.
This is not worth dying over.
I wonder what this game would have looked like. Like, compare Call of Duty World at War, PlayStation 3, to Call of Duty World at War, PlayStation 2.
Don't worry about it. We can argue about it later.
So,
It'll be
Nate's
great.
being, like, the responsible one, and Elena's being the adventurous one. That's kind of ironic, considering how they usually act in the series. This sort of gets retconned later on, I guess you could say. Alright, no, if we need the boat to get away from the island, is there anything technically stopping us from taking this jet ski over into like a neighboring island and making an SOS? Because honestly, that's what I would do. Forget trying to get to the boat. Alright, well, that's a good spot to stop, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye.